he said it's the first time he ever spoke publicly, and he doesn't know why they asked him to speak. And he explained, he started with Lamdish starting to, not deep Lamdish, a little bit, how people have their ways, how they look at things. He's trying to bring us to a sense of Achdus, how we can come to see the other Chassid as a Ben Melech also. And he said, it's almost like, he said it's like mandatory. It's only, he said it's, every 10 years, he said, we get 1 hour,
What?
1 hour every day Achdus. He didn't say that phrase every day. But it was, he said that was his one, right at the end he said, the other guy is a Ben Melech also. He has proof, when you ask him how does he know that what he holds is true, he points to what the Rebbe said. And this guy also says, how does he know? He points to what the Rebbe said. So if both are saying, so he said in the world there's people who have different approaches to things. And he said you have to see the other guy as a Ben Melech also.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Be a little louder.
So does that make sense to you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's the last sentence you said?
Okay, what are you saying?
I'm asking what. Never mind.
All right.
Just want to know, does that make sense to you what he said? This point?
So the secret from them that we learned about the Tammuz and the Akiva.
Yes, he mentions this.
All right. You ready? Really, the principles that we are learning here now, and coming to the conclusion, is really very similar what you learned last Maimer about the Burim Shebayam and Burim Shebayabosha. And here the Rebbe explains Burim Shebayam are superior to Burim Shebayabosha. In their initial Madrega, they are within their source, they cannot be separated from their source. Yet, the praises coming from the Burim Shebayabosha are much more significant because they actually identify what they know. It's not merely that they're engulfed. This is a similar union that we're saying here, that the neshamas are musaf b'atzmos, and we also love that stage that level will be in full the revelation, but it will be how they so to speak embraced by the Atzmos.
What was this last point? Embraced by Atmos?
They will be embraced like the Grim Shebiyam.
Yes. Yeah. So the ones that with the more significant praise are not embraced by it.
That's right. But they have the most significant because they actually recognize it. Deze dingen heb je saying over here dat je steufels in the Gilui has a great supremacy over the essential state. All right, so let's continue and finish the singing. We're on page Samach Zayin. This is 6 lines from the top of the page. The line begins with ukmo Cain. So we said, yeah, put on the other
Whoa.
Rabbi Paltiel?
You switched that
Hello?
manually?
Yes.
You didn't translate
before
the
you-
Kamokain. You said it,
before
but you
you-
didn't translate it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you go on, the Gilui over here, Yossi, in other words, the Gilui has an advantage because it knows, it's aware, it appreciates what it's in the middle of.
Right.
But normally when we spoke earlier about the Gilui was a ha'ara of a higher level. Is that still true here?
Yes.
What's the higher level that it's the ha'ara of?
It's a ha'ara of Avah. Chochmah and Bina.
Ava in Atzmos? I mean, we're talking now about the Yossi, when there's going to be a Gili of Atzmos.
Avah coming from Atzmos, right.
Ava coming from Atzmos. So, but there has to be a special Gili of that in order to have it come out to the fullest. Is that it?
Well, this is what Nishikin is.
Right. Even Liossi, the Shiki will be something that wouldn't be included automatically in the mahus of the neshama. This question
It
may
will
make
be
no sense.
included in the Kus of the Neshama, but not that the Neshama should be toifus it, should be aware of it. This is a special state, a special condition. We speak about this on a simple worldly level. Someone who's born into wealth, unlimited wealth, unlimited in human terms, a multi-billionaire. He was born into that condition, that state. He never had to be concerned about having his needs supplied, fulfilled. He never had to be concerned about his ability to follow through on his plans from from a financial standpoint. Whatever he has planned he wanted to do, he can do. He wants to build a car company, goes ahead and builds car company. Whatever he wants to do. So he really, he has this benefit. And even from the standpoint that he doesn't even know what it means not to have it, which is an extra richness in different category. Nevertheless, we always point out that someone who actually worked and earned his wealth, to him, he appreciates it much more deeply and much more meaningfully. We can even put it into a worded perspective. The one who was born into wealth, even if he's a responsible person, is going to do good things. He's going to do good things on the basis of what he surmises is good. I'm going to do this thing because I feel this is a good thing. And therefore he goes and invests in that. Someone who has been in the world is someone who worked on the worldly platform and developed his wealth in that state. He has a completely different definition of what's good. Anybody
No,
can
it's
sense it?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it over? I'm sorry.
Huh?
Can you repeat it after he said we could put it in we could word it, he said. So can you just repeat
I'm
it?
saying someone who this person who was born in wealth, and he's a responsible person who wants to do good things. He's a good person who wants to do good things and invest in good things. And someone who earned his wealth by being in the world, and he worked hard and earned his wealth. He also does good things. There's a difference in their definition and the meaning of a good thing in these two people. The first one, a good thing is what I consider a good thing. I feel this is a good thing. The other is a good thing, that which I recognize the world needs. It's not a good thing just because I sense it. It may be a good thing, but he doesn't sense the world need. He senses his view of it. Whereas the other literally is involved and senses the real value. It's a completely different status, level of awareness. Now let's think of it, and then we'll see how this really corresponds here. The richer form is the has a worldly perspective. What's needed, what's beneficial. But where is the greater truth? Why does one pursue that which is beneficial? Because that's a reality. Whereas the first, there is a certain qualifier to it. I like it, it's rich, it's beautiful. this is the chart that this second one, he is aware of worldly needs and aware of the world. And the world can be lacking, the world can be built and so forth. But what would be the reason that he would build the world if it is lacking? If it's lacking, so why do you want to build it? The answer is, it has a fundamental reality, fundamental value.
That's not sensed by the first.
It's not. The first one doesn't like. It's not the sense of it. The first one is more involved in the richness, in the beauty of it.
His own experience, his own expression.
If he's focused on the good,
So
both are focused on
both
good.
are focused on good, but the sense of good. What makes good good?
You might say that the one that is not involved in the world is not distracted by by the workings of the world. He doesn't lose. He would less likely to lose focus on the goal. The other one might have intermixed.
You're not answering my question. You can't
Okay,
go left here.
okay. Say again.
What is the definition of good? What makes good good?
What makes good
Huh?
good? There's nothing. Good or holy? Good?
Well, you can extend it to holy. What makes good good?
Only Hashem's definitions, I guess.
You use any term. The one, good is because it's pleasant, it's beautiful, it's great. The other, good is that it represents, there is a real need to it. Why do I want to, so to speak, better, build the world? Because it's God's will.
Okay. Both of them have this.
Huh?
Both of them seem to have the capacity to understand that.
But one understands it from personal perspective, and then understands it from an absolute perspective, an objective perspective.
What the one that worked in the world has it from an objective perspective.
He knows the reality. He's part of the reality. The one who never worked is not part of the reality. He's just, he likes it.
I don't know why to say he likes it. I know you're making a distinction here, but I don't know why we have to attribute to him that he likes it. He sees it. It's fundamental. He sees.
Because he was not exposed to that level of reality. He was not even exposed. He doesn't have the fisa. He doesn't. We explained many times that fisa means that you can go outside of the table and grasp it by its borders. He doesn't have any borders. It's just an expression of his personal preference. It's a good preference. Good choice.
The Frierdiker Rebbe has their stories in Ayin. He tells a story there of men who come from wealthy families, and when they go around in the community, they make sure that they go door to door and make sure that whoever needs gets what they need, and these are wealthy children, and they they seem to apply themselves with
This is
great diligence.
This is special chinuch. This is not the natural attitude. I told you the story. We have a small class. I told you the story of my grandfather who was teaching in Cheder. And there was a shortage of Gemaras. So one boy had a Gemara, the other boy was sitting next to him, and he was trying to look in the same Gemara, to share the Gemara. And this other boy wouldn't like him. My grandfather noticed this. So he went and he sat down and went next to him. And he said to him, okay, say the Mishnah. Whatever Mishnah it was. Snai moichas in the Tammuz. Two people are holding down a gun. No, I'm Horetz. That's not what it means. It means that if a Yingler wants to look into the Gemara with you, you must let him. Next. This one claims it's his mind, this one claims it's mine. Wrong. I'm Horetz. That's not what it means. Runs through several generations like that. This boy didn't know what it means you don't have. I don't want to shame. I like to look at it into myself. I don't want to have any over the shoulder look. And in fact, if there was not that in of chinuch, this is how you would have gone into his life. He would enjoy learning, but he would not know at all what it's about.
This is a reverse. This is very different from how you've approached this.
No.
This till now. We've stressed that a person.
Naturally, that is what happens. Naturally, this is the perspective.
We've stressed that to be involved in the world is to be handicapped.
No.
That you have to put yourself inside of Elokus, and if you put yourself inside the world, you're less.
No.
Let's
have a mission.
Let's say the bacha that you spoke to, that you told him, you explained to him that it's better to be inside the truth than outside and have clarity about what's going on inside. The main thing is to be.
I don't know the words that I said, but this was not the point at all. The point was, on the contrary, you look from outside, you have a much greater clarity of what you see.
Yes, and you told them that's not.
So the thing is like this: you have greater clarity of what you see, but in what way do you want to participate? In what way do you want to? Why do you want to accomplish it? What are you trying to learn when you learn? You're saying the whole time that a person has to have a place in the world, a home. What do you say Beis any other? Explain all the time. Why any other?
Yes,
Yeah.
because this is God gave him the ability to have a place in the world. I think this is
So why is he not the owner? Because he doesn't have it.
without this place, he is not yet made he's not yet doesn't have a platform to do what God wants to get done in the
Why
world.
not? Without having a home, the world does not have full meaning to him. He's a stranger. Even though he lacks nothing. But he's not really a participant. It doesn't really mean anything.
So what is this man lacking? The one that the child of a billionaire.
Child of a billionaire on his own will not relate to the reality. Like we said, the story of the boy who was born knowing the whole Torah. He doesn't know what it means to learn. He doesn't know what it means to learn. Because in this world, to know means to acquire knowledge. It's a completely different reality. And that has the element of grasp. I did not know, now I know, therefore I know what I know. So that's what I was explaining, that in fact, even though there is being in the Etzem is this is the real thing, this is the real Neshama thing. Nevertheless, the Neshamas are vying for the Shikim because they want to have that type of expression. Like I said the other day, think of it this way. The other day, remember we said you invite a person to your home, and you have guests and you serve them beautiful dinner. They come in, but you don't greet them. You don't greet them. They come in, and you see the table, they take their seat. What's a greeting? What's a greeting do? In comparison to giving them the comfort of the dinner. That's a machine. Okay?
This morning we were using the example.
One second. You shook your head.
Yeah,
You understand or
that's
not?
exactly what kind of shake it was. You recognize what my shake, my
What
head
is it?
shake. I
You don't
I-
understand it. You don't subscribe to it. You
no,
don't
no,
see
it's
it?
not. I don't ascribe to it. I don't yet absorb it. It's,
I want you to absorb it. That's why I spend so much time. Everybody is spending the time. That's what we're trying to do, to get a sense of this. We said many times the example of being a host, serving dinner, and leaving us. This was said many times. It's important that we sense this.
okay, when you brought this up, it was clear the difference. This is such a reversal of what we've been speaking about. I, it's obviously true, but this.
I mentioned many times, don't think in terms of contradiction, because yes, many times we approach a different angle. Makes a difference. The point is, do we understand this point?
Yes, yes. Logically, yes. You're
Not
saying.
logically, chochmah.
No, I don't
On the
think
human.
no, I'm accepting, but
No, on the human perspective. Okay, you're invited to my home for dinner, along with many other people. Everybody comes in, and nobody greets them.
And what this is illustration of what?
Of giving of myself, but not telling them I'm giving myself, not greeting them. I'm giving them, this is money. I'm spending my money and prepared a beautiful dinner in my home.
Okay, so obviously a component is missing, but I'm not. I guess I'm not fitting it into the whole picture. I mean, obviously, you walk into some zone, you don't greet you. That I wouldn't.
You see, the point is this. I mean, it's done all the time. The point is this: human being versus the holiday animal. We have a difficulty sometimes in distinguishing. The human being has to eat, the animal has to eat. And therefore, from that perspective, you say it's the same thing. No, but he wants to eat with dignity and a private place and so on and so on. But still, it is a similar activity. So what we are learning is that it's not a similar activity in any which way. All the way down to taking the first bite. Not a similar activity whatsoever. But the human being, I said many times, everything goes through his intellect. Why am I eating this? Am I eating a piece of grass? Or am I eating something that God served me? The human being is always above, is always, so to speak, in the realm of the godly truth.
Okay, if you're challenging me to think like a human being, I'm not there.
Well, yes, I'm challenging. I'm not challenging. I'm encouraging.
Yeah. Okay.
Not challenging.
Okay. I'm not there.
Okay. That's what I'm
23.
Huh?
It's 9:23 now.
Sorry?
It's late.
That's what I'm aiming at. Okay, for you, for him, for him, for him, for me, for all of us. Because to understand these subtle things of Chassidus, can you imagine how much they ever invested in writing these few lines?
Other than it's hard to understand, I really don't know what he invested. It's true.
But a little bit to young Lincoln.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, so that's what we try to do. Let's continue. The line begins.
I have a question.
What? Do you have a question?
This morning we were using the example of I don't remember inside we read it or
What?
uh, yeah, here it's inside. Talking about that it's like a playful thing. It's like a toy, kind of like pleasant.
Shashuyim.
Right. So and meaning that there is an advantage in tfisa, or what we, in all this line that we're pursuing to understand that there is a certain thing to it which is advantageous. So that itself is really like somebody playing a game. Like what are you like what are you missing without this game? I mean you're playing game after all in order to enjoy playing a game. Like what does it add to being yourself? So we're saying there's no explanation to that at all. It's just that's what it is, and so you just look at it and see it. And then now and so that's now, like this today we started off this whole thing about this pointing out this difference between the person who was born into riches and person who acquired it. We examine it, you see the difference in it. It's such a difference that you could clearly point out that this is it's a difference, and we could understand even like you said, almost like why it's different. It's very clear, like how the person who was not born into it but had to struggle to acquire it from the world, he therefore has a whole world. He has a complete grasp of there is a real world exists there. So it seemed to be that it's kind of tells us there is a reason in it, as opposed to what we were saying, and as I understood it in the morning, we were saying there is no reason to that. Why that approach of tfisa, of chokhmah and all that seichel is advantageous to
Well, they say that's what we were saying. Exactly the same thing. When it comes to chokhmah, there is a different tfisa. Exactly, that's what we were saying. These are time as when Shabbat moves behelim b'chokhmah, and the mila is in pieces of Ayin, but he's aware of it.
Yet that itself, how do we explain that phenomenon itself? What is this? How come that there is in this tfisas Ayin there is some advantage that without that, in the essence itself, was not there? Where does it the advantage come to this whole tfisa business? It comes from that same essence that includes everything and has everything in it, the whole thing. So what? Where does advantage?
One second. That the idea for. Do we understand the difference?
Sure.
Okay. You see that tfisas Ayin is a mind. That's what the Rebbe says. I said again, if you're going to try contradictions, I'm not prepared for it.
Okay. I didn't want to go. I didn't plan to go into contradictions at all.
So what's the problem?
Problem is that in the morning we learned it was clear. Now
Exactly the same way.
okay.
Exactly the same thing. That when it comes to chokhmah, there is a mila. In the fact that there is tfisas Ayin.
Okay, and for us, we are just here to just hear what the Rebbe has to say. The Rebbe has to say that he points out to us this. There is a mile in tfisas Ayin. That's it. That's what we're talking about.
No, I explained how what's a mila.
Right. Yeah.
But what do you, I really don't know what you're trying to say.
I was under the impression this morning that the root of this whole advantage is really unexplainable, based on this example of the playing a game, like playing something.
This is not a game.
Not a game. So we're playing, enjoying something.
A game. That's the etzem. That's my Ayin is a game. Shashuyim. That's the etzem Ayin. The main is.
Okay. Okay, so I did it was totally off. Okay. All right, no problem.
What do we say is the game? The game is the etzem.
Shashuyim. The Ayin Agatzim is called. That's a Shashuyim. That he is personally involved in it. That's what it is.
And that's it's proper to.
That really does not have an explanation. This is Ayin, that's. All right, so now that we have proven one thing, that, like we said, the guy who comes from poverty, we really want to get to know.
The guy that comes from poverty, he knows the world. But what are you
If he
saying?
is going to, if he is going to do something, he's going to do something with truth. He really wants it to have an effect, not just express his own thoughts.
Not just his.
Express his own thoughts.
Oh, so okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Right, let's go inside.
Sorry. In other words, I think the point, the sentence that we formulated this morning, this point, that there is advantage of looking from the outside on the inside versus being inside.
Because there he's observing, he's stoifics what's happening. And that's what he said. Chochma, ukmo kain, okay, so the 600, Ha'mayla b'tainug ha'murgish she'nitvus b'ho'inyan. The tainug ha'murgish, there is the inyan that is nitvus, ho'inyan. V'zeu mayla ha'neshikin le'osi. This is the mile of neshikin that will be le'osi. Gam she'yeh gile asmus ha'neshama, all that there will be the gile v'etzem ha'neshama.
What line are you on?
Now we're on the seventh line type.
The seventh line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though there's going to be Gila Yasim Hanshama, nevertheless there's a Mila in the Shikin. The Shikin is the Gila of that Atzmus. Be'alzehu, and regarding this Mila, this is what the Pasuk is saying, Yishakeini Mishikis Piu. This is what the Neshama is saying, Yishakeini Mishikis Piu, he will give him, he will kiss me with his mouth. Be'ein zeh soiseh, which means it's an expression directly. I said, you welcome me again, and he said, please, welcome. It doesn't do anything, but that has a much deeper significance than the dinner itself. Be'ein zeh soiseh la'amitus ho'inyan hanal. And this is not in contradiction to the truth of what we explained till now. Before the Haneshama is Mushroshim Be'asmus Ein Soy Baruch, and the Neshamas are rooted in Asmus Ein Soy Baruch. So therefore, they're the real union. What can you add to that? Which is Zivu Gufni the Zu, and we also explained that Zivu Gufni of Zu, Ho Bechinas Hashpo Asmis, B'Pnimis Asmus Ein Soy. Zun is Hashpo Atzmus, is the essential Hashpo of Asmus Ein Sof. So therefore they have the Asmus Ein Sof itself. More than a Ha'ora from Avo. From the Komo came in yet still Mevalchim, they request Gilu, Bechinas and Shikim Elyein. One, an expression from the Shikim Elyein. Liyes, when the reason is because being that Shalidei Ha'ora Zu, that as a result of this Ha'ora, Yiyeh Gilui Ho'atzmus, that there will be Gilui Ho'atzmus, and V'gam, and also Sheyesh Yisra and Gam, V'tanug Ho'atzmus, that there is a Yisra, there is a supremacy, even a Tanug Ho'atzmi, Kmei Shebo B'murgosh B'helen, the Atzmi D'chok. That the Tanagu Atzmi also there's an advantage when it is the Tanagu Atzmi not the way it is in Etzim, the way it comes in Helamo Atzmi D'chok. There is something here that I did not really discuss. over here these words. They anschikin, they are also gili hu atzmus. Will be gili hu atzmus. Gili hu atzmus is not the gili of ha'ora, not the gili of oineg, but the etzem itself. In our anything. And yet that is something which is superior to everything else. The Alidei Nishikim there is Gilu Atzim. But Nishikim is Nishikim Spiel. Nishikim is Spiel. This doesn't come through any kind of function. It is mouth to mouth. B'hamshom is be'etzem. The neshama is in the essence thing be'emes mishoshim ba'atzmus in soy. They really.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So, just with this mushal of the host and this thing, of what the neshikim is adding, we always say that the presence of the host, even though he's present, or at least we said this in the past, you don't have his essence. I mean, you don't know who he is. Really. You don't have his essence. You have his presence. It would seem that at this point, with the neshikim, you have not only his presence, but you are able to appreciate what and who he is.
No.
No?
No.
No?
No, it's only ha'ora. It's only gilu etz. Not appreciate anything.
What about the tefisa? I'm talking about the tefisa.
The what?
The tefisa.
By your teifis. No. The tefisa applies to gilu atzmus atayno. That applies to the from gilu atzmus atayno that comes in the helem b'chochma. That's what the tefisa is. But here you say another thing. That they are not the Meshikin, the atzmus itself. That's not
I'm sorry, there was a beep. I missed what you just said. Here it's something else. What
this is Hilehu Atzmus. There are two inyanim over here. There are two inyanim. Let's go back 4 lines from the bottom, okay?
Can I ask, before you go back, I just ask you something. Gili ha'atzmos is different than the presence of atzmos. The neshama already has the presence of atzmos.
No.
Right?
No. Gilu Atzmus is the presence of Atzmus. The neshama has the oineg. Then it's part of the oineg on Atzmus. The Gilu Atzmus, that's a different thing. Let's look inside. When we come, okay, 4 lines of Mevakshim. The neshamas nevertheless request gilui bechines nishikin elieni. Liyes, why? Liyes because shalidei haora zu, that as a result of this haora nishikin elieni, ye gilui hu atzmus. There will be gilui of the atzmus itself. This is not the for oineg or anything on the atzmus. The gam, and then there's also another thing. Sheyesh yisrein gam b'tainag hu atzmi. That there is a yisr, there is a supremacy even in the Tainago Atzmi. Mei sheba b'murgish behelam atzmi lechochma in the Tainago Atzmi in the form where it is in the helam atzmi lechochma. So these are two things.
This is all in the neshamas.
This is all.
Right?
This is all in the giluyim, that the giluy of the oineg, the way it comes through chochma, there's an advantage.
Giluy of the oineg of the neshama.
Of the oineg of the neshama, of the oineg of the ki, yes. Because through chochma there's an advantage because there's a tfisa.
La